Hello. Today we're going to be looking at the Cention Contact Center. Right now we've gone to the URL to log into the main screen. So we're going to log in with our username and password, which is going to take us into the system and allow us to start our work. Put in the username. It already knows my password. And we just click login. The system then logs me in, and right now it's taking me to the default, what we call the queue, which is where all the new messages come in. But before we get started, we're going to go back and we're going to go to the overview section. And in the overview section, it shows us the various companies that you have set up in the system. In this case, it's a demonstration. And then within that company, you can see the various departments. So we have general support and technical issues. So due to two different areas, or as we like to say, departments that have access to the system or receive the workflows. Over on the right-hand side, you can see the number of agents or users that are logged in. Demonstration user, that's us. And Tobias and Ivan also logged in. We can see how long they've been logged in, if they have any acquired errands. In this case, one of the users, Ivan, has acquired 13 different errands. We can look on and sort by acquired errands to see who's working out of a group. If you've got dozens or hundreds of agents, you can look at just who has taken an errand. And then we also have the tab for available for chat. So if you have the chat module turned on, it would tell you what agent is logged in and ready to receive a live chat. This screen is used normally by your team leaders or your managers so they can get a quick overview of what's going on within the organization in a snapshot. You notice in the upper right-hand window, you'll see some emails or what we call errands in the system. And this is a ticker that shows you the 5 most recent items that have come in. You can click on any one of those to open it directly as instead of going to the main queue. I also have the ability to turn the ticker on or off. So if I don't want to see it, all I have to do is click Turn Ticker Off, and you'll see that we no longer have access to that. We'll turn it back on so we can see it. The other item is Turn Pickup Next On. If you want the errands or the emails to automatically flow into the user's inbox, you would have the Turn Pickup Next On. So when they complete answering one of the messages that's come in, as soon as they close that item off, the next one will automatically flow into their inbox as opposed to manual selection from the queue. And then the chat module. If you're going to allow your agents to turn their chat system on and off, you can do that. Or as the admin, you can also set it that everybody is automatically logged into chat and only you can turn off their chat system. From here, we're going to go to the main, what we call the queue, which is where all of the new messages come in. And you'll notice we call it new errands because it's not necessarily email. It could be a chat. With our system, it also could be social media such as Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. If you tie into an SMS gateway, this is where you'd see an SMS message populate. So all communications come into the new errand queue. And by default, they're sorted by oldest to newest so that you would clear out the oldest messages first before the newest ones. And right now there's a listing of them. We have page 1 and page 2. And you'll see that some have envelope next to them. Some have a little F. This is the Facebook icon. We'll go to page 2. And you'll see Facebook, and then here's a bunch that actually came in through Twitter. So all the channels are supported. It's very easy to see what channels you have in the system at that point. And we'll just take one of these. So we'll start out with an email. And now up on top, you'll notice that it automatically creates what's called an errand ID number. So you can reference this number in the future if someone comes back to you, or maybe you get a phone call in and they say, oh, I've emailed before, here's my number. It tells you what channel. This one came in through email, what department it went to. This one came to general support. And it also gives you the date and the time that the message came in, and that's used for message tracking. Tells you who it came from, what email address they sent to, did they carbon copy anybody, are there any attachments included with this message. Now, over on the right-hand side, we've got 5 icons. The first one is a history icon. When you click on that, we get a nice little pop-up window here, and it shows me the actual actions that have transpired with this inquiry. So I can see what date and time it was opened, who opened it, what they did with it. It was opened and returned, open and returned, open and returned. So at this point, it's been opened and returned by multiple agents, but no answer has actually been provided yet. The next icon, you see this one's lit up in yellow. It tells me that there's some active information here. And this is contacts by this person. So I click on this, and it tells me that, this Steve Momart's gentleman, he's actually inquired a total of 4 times. And the ones in green are items that have been answered. The ones in yellow or orange are the ones that are still open. So 4 different times this individual has contacted the company. So it's very easy to see that what their communications are. And now as an agent, when I see this, I can go in and I could answer all of their inquiries at one time, which is going to help you work more efficiently with the messages and get the answers back to the customers in a much faster time. This one is called Notes. And what it allows me to do here is I can add notes to this particular inquiry that are internal notes. So these are things that if I have to forward this to another person or my supervisor needs to review it for whatever reason, I've got notes in here that they can understand why I've sent it on and what the issue is. The one nice thing about the notes is you can attach a file with it. So if there's a screenshot that I wanted to include, I could do that as well. The nice thing about these notes is that whatever you put here, it's only visible internally. It would not get attached and be visible to the actual person that sent the inquiry in. So it's all private information. We'll close that. And you'll see now it's lit up in blue because it knows I have a note there. This one, now this is notes on the particular customer. So it doesn't matter what message you open. This one's always going to be tied to this person's email account. So if I wanted to make a special note on a customer, maybe the person has a special need that needs to be addressed when they contact you. This could be a VIP customer, and maybe on the sales side or any kind of service repairs, they're entitled to a 5% discount on any charges they might have. I can put notes in here that the agent will see the next time they receive an inquiry from this particular person. So I've added my notes, and now the next time a message comes in from Steve at Cention.asia, that note will appear for the agent so they understand how to handle that individual. Again, the notes are not visible to the person that's sent in the inquiry. So when I reply to Steve, he won't see the notes I've put on the errand, nor will he see the notes I've put on his account. And the last one is called classifications, or we call tags. What this allows me to do is I can come in and I can start classifying each message. So, it's a billing issue, happy customer, an error. but you can create an unlimited number of tags or classifications so that you can check each message that fits into a certain category. So maybe it's a marketing issue, maybe it's a social media question, maybe it's tech support. It just depends on the services that you're providing and the classifications that you'd like to use. If you do a lot of voice work, a lot of times in the voice calls, you have what's called dispositions. So you dispose the call when you're done with it. Classifications or tags are the same thing. The benefit of our tagging system is that in the future, you can actually go and data mine this information and use it for some beneficial items and get some real data analytics from it. So that's the top part of the system. And you'll see now, here's the question. Is it possible to add Facebook to my Cention system? Can you please send me information on the pricing or cost of your software? So it's actually two questions. And you'll see the system has automatically found one of the answers already. And it gives you the information, how do you go in and do that. And of course we have the general things for the header down below. I can copy this message to another person that would be part of the system. I can change the reply address. I can forward to what's called external. So if I don't know the answer and no one in the organization knows the answer, maybe this has to go back to your actual corporate client. You could have one of their lead technical people or whoever would respond to issues for the company. They could be one of the external accounts. Now I could forward to that person. They would get a summary of this question with an answer box. They could provide the answer to me, and then when they send it back, we can add that message, that answer to the knowledge base so it can be used in the future. Also here you can see the salutation, the signature box. So it's already filled in, dear first name, kind regards, general support. So it sets that signature for you and that greeting the way the company wants it set up, not the way the individuals do. You don't want your individual CSRs typing in, see you later, L8R, Bobby Sue. You want to maintain the same signature throughout, give you a much professional look and feel. The other drop-down box is alternative answers. So we've already got one answer, but this is a two-part question. So we might want to add to it. So our office of lives in its own postal code, please visit. We have that. So there's Facebook. Or I can also, maybe none of those are appropriate. I can search for answers. So I type in a search term here. We'll call it monthly fees. And officer's live, please visit our pricing page. So I can append answer, or I can insert. Maybe I want to insert this answer into the system. So I'm going to add to it. We'll scroll down, and we've inserted that into the system. If I don't want that, I can go back and do a search again, or I can go back to my monthly or my alternative answer box. So that's my answer, and I'm ready to send it, I think. Maybe I want to add what's called a template file or an attachment file. So an attached file, this would be like a JPEG, maybe there's a PDF, even a video or a PowerPoint you could attach. With templates, these are answers that are already linked up. So here's a link for price list. This would give the pricing. So I could actually click on this, and now it actually is inserting that long URL string, and it's going to be price list. So I can now just add to my answer here. Let me get my spelling corrected here. As you can see, it does have full HTML editing capabilities, spell check. We've gone through that, but I can, bold, italicize, underline, strike through bullet points, indentations. So all the formatting options you would see if you're using Outlook or some other type of mail client. I can create my own hyperlinks. I can insert images, videos, horizontal lines, adjust my font sizes, change my languages. So if you have multilingual in the system, and we can support just about any language, so you could actually then provide answers in the languages of your choice if you've added those to the system. Do my spell check, and I think I'm all set now. So maybe I want to publish this to the knowledge base. So I'm going to click on that box that's published. Now, when I send this, this is going to add this answer to the knowledge base. So the next time a similar inquiry comes in, this will be the answer that comes up. If you have the library module, which is like a dynamically updating FAQ system, I could add it to my library, which then could be searched externally. So you could put a library page on the website of the customer to enable the actual people to look up their own questions and answers. So it creates a dynamically updated FAQ. There's a couple other items here. Of course, high priority, we all know what that is. And the other one is lock to me. Maybe this message came in, and I spent a lot of time researching the information for the client. I've put a lot of effort into sending a response to them, and I need more information from them. So I have to wait for them to come back to me. Instead of having that response go back into the main queue, if I click on lock to me, what will happen is when Steve Momart replies to my questions back, it's going to come right into my personal inbox within Cention as opposed to going into the general queue. The benefit of that is that the new person wouldn't have to start over and completely go through my answer and do all their own research. By bringing it to my own inbox, I've already got a history with this person. I know what's going on. I'll be able to answer their inquiry much more efficiently. We're not going to have that set today. I don't want to necessarily close this one out at this time, but I'm going to save my answer. So it saved it, and now that errand's been handled, and I can go back and I can take the next message. Let's do something different here. Let's take one from Facebook. So this is a Facebook post, and you'll see that everything looks the same. There's no difference. You don't have to learn a new platform. You don't have to teach people how to go in and reply on Facebook. You don't have to give them access to Facebook. That's the power of the Cention system, is that we read from Facebook so that you don't have to give people username and password to get into Facebook. The header is the same. Again, all the same icons here. Oh, I can see that there's notes on this item. So this person, I'm forwarding this to someone. I don't know why it's crashing. I'm looking for advice. There's notes on the person. But here it is. We've pulled it from Facebook. Here's the answer, already populated. But you notice some of the fields are grayed out because they wouldn't apply with the Facebook posts. But we still have the salutation and the signature that we're using. Everything else is the same here. The answer's there. So you can see Facebook is the same as email. If we go into Twitter, again, you notice everything is the same. The same console, consistency through and through. That way your agents are always working from the same platform. They don't have to switch from screen to screen. Oh, this is how we do Twitter. This is how we do email. Everything is centralized, gives you better workflow controls, all of those things. We're going to move that one back to the inbox. We're going to take a quick 30-second break before we move on to the next section.